Hi, my name is Lucas Jones, a 39-year-old man. When you think about how your life could be more miserable than it actually is, you should not think like that because you never know when your life could become even more miserable. Let's start from the beginning. It was a regular work day for me. I woke up at 6:30 a.m., already late because last night I was helping my 12-year-old daughter Anna with her math homework. I was already tired when my wife Sienna called me. "Lucas, come downstairs. Honey, I'm helping Anna with her math homework, 30 minutes only, then check the pantry." "Okay, I'll do it." Here my daughter waited for me to help her, but honestly, I wasn't that good at math. Nevertheless, "Dad." "Yes, sweetheart? That's already solved. I want to solve this." I looked up the method online but couldn't find the same. "Oh, let me take a look at that." By the way, we live in my wife's inherited house which joins with the small restaurant that her grandparents own. They passed it to her parents, and her parents passed it to her. Until 5 years ago, when everything went downhill, our restaurant business faced many challenges, including losing a huge customer base. Now, we have only a few customers and sometimes reservations. To make ends meet, I had to work as a server in a high-end restaurant, but it's really far from my house, so I have to take the metro every day. The customers' tips help me out a lot. So, I already woke up late and rushed to my daughter's room to wake her up. "Anna? Anna, wake up." We're both running late. I grabbed my wallet while Anna was in the bathroom getting ready. I packed her bag quickly, my sweet daughter. "Anna, are you ready?" Without looking back, Anna made it to her school bus. "Dad, my homework's on the table." "On the table?" "Wait, driver, just a minute." I ran back into the house, grabbed her notebook, and sprinted back toward the bus. The driver wouldn't wait, so I had to run alongside the moving bus. Gasping for breath, I managed to hand Anna her notebook through the bus window. Hush. Finally. Reaching the metro station just in time, I breathed a sigh of relief. Now there was no way I'd be late for work unless something unexpected got in my way. But of course I shouldn't have even thought that because... As I hurried toward my workplace from the metro stop, picking up my pace and practically running, I approached the restaurant around 7:40 a.m. It's located near a bustling park, and my boss is always strict, demanding servers round the clock due to the constant flow of customers. I had to reach before the rushing hours. The atmosphere there is vibrant and busy, unlike the calm of my wife's restaurant, you can imagine. However, as I reached the entrance of the restaurant, I noticed a little girl crying in the park. I walked inside the park to avoid traffic. Despite the few people around, I thought I could slip past unnoticed, right? But then she stopped crying and locked eyes with me, her gaze pleading. I walked briskly past her and crossed the road, but my legs seemed to have a mind of their own as they stopped and turned me back toward the little girl. After a moment of hesitation, I bent down to her level. "Why are you crying?" "Where is your mom?" "Dad, I can't find my mom." She wore a cute pink skirt, her tear-stained cheeks and nose contrasting with her adorable hairstyle. She looked to be around 4 or 5 years old. "Okay, don't worry. Your mom must be finding you right now. Should I help you find her?" "Yeah. Where did you see her last time?" "There." She pointed inside the park towards a bench far from the kids' zone. I followed her and scanned the area for her mother. The location she pointed towards was quite far, raising doubts in my mind. "Are you sure she was there?" The girl nodded. Despite being late, I found myself unable to resist checking the time. In the midst of my worries, I took the girl's hand and decided to ask people if they had seen her mother. "Do you remember what your mom was wearing?" "Ah." Her response gave me a glimmer of hope, but it quickly faded. "No, I don't remember." We retraced her steps, stopping at the spots she remembered visiting before entering the park. Eventually, she pointed towards a bridge. "Did you cross the bridge alone?" "Yes." "Are you sure?" She nodded, but as I headed towards the bridge, she hesitated and gazed back at the nearby food stand. The enticing aroma of freshly made coffee and donuts filled the air, drawing the attention of passers-by. I retraced my steps. "Are you hungry?" Again, she nodded. I bought her a sandwich, and she ate quietly and with refinement, expressing her thanks before we continued toward the bridge. After a few minutes of searching in the park, I spotted a woman showing a photo of her daughter to passers-by. "Did you see this kid?" "The little girl," Sage exclaimed, Mom and ran toward her, embracing her tightly. "Sage, where were you?" The woman glanced at me with judging eyes for a second. Realizing I was already late, I quickly confirmed that she was indeed Sage's mother, noting the matching outfit and their similar refined appearance. "Is this your mom?" "Yes." "I found her near the entrance. I point towards it. She was searching for you. Now I have to go." I hurried back toward the restaurant, now 35 minutes behind. As I entered the restaurant, my mind was filled with the dread of being late and facing my boss, Brody's anger. Stepping inside the busy place, I caught the familiar smell of food mixing with the clatter of plates and the low hum of conversation. I was just heading toward the server's changing room when a loud voice interrupted the background noise. "Lucas?" I hesitantly turned to see Brody striding toward me, his face scowling. His eyes locked onto mine, and I knew I was in trouble. "Where were you?" "You're already late, and we're short-staffed today." "Sorry, Brody. There was an issue in the park, and I don't want to hear your excuses. This isn't the first time, Lucas. You're careless and unreliable, and you've cost us too many customers." I glanced around, noticing my coworkers' mixed expressions, some showing pity, others indifference. "You're fired, Lucas. Pack up your things and don't come back." Those words hit me hard. Fired. I stood there shocked as Brody turned away and walked off. Without thinking, I ran after him. "Brody, please try to understand. Give me another chance, don't fire me." "I've given you plenty of chances, Lucas. It's over. Now get out of here and stop wasting my time." I pleaded desperately. "But Brody, please." Brody signaled to the security guards, who quickly approached and grabbed me firmly by the arms. "Get him out of here." I struggled against their grip, but they dragged me out of Brody's office and towards the front door, ignoring my pleas. I had to plead with one of the guards. "Jamie, please let me grab my stuff. At least let me go to my locker." A few moments later, when he thought I wouldn't cause trouble, Jamie let me inside. I gathered my belongings, feeling the weight of failure settling heavily on my shoulders. It was 9:45 in the morning on a Tuesday, and I found myself standing outside the restaurant with half a month's salary in my pocket. I had no idea where to go next. How could I explain that I had lost my job because I was late? The weight of embarrassment and uncertainty pressed down on me as I stood on the sidewalk, trying to figure out my next move. So, I went out looking for a new job but had no luck. That evening when I returned home, I didn't see my wife at the restaurant. Perhaps there were no reservations for today. I was dreading telling her about getting fired, especially since her friend's husband also worked there and would likely find out soon enough. I went upstairs and found my daughter in her room, but there was still no sign of my wife. "Hi, sweetheart. How was school today?" "It was great." "Where's your mom?" "Don't you remember?" "About what?" "Dad. You could get in trouble." "Wait, let me think. It's not our anniversary. Is it your mom's birthday today?" "Let me see." I checked the date. "It's tomorrow." "Thank God. She's inviting her friends tomorrow. What's your plan for her?" "That's an interesting question." My heart was pounding, and sweat beaded on my forehead as I drank water constantly. I tried to prepare myself for how I would break the news to Sienna that I had lost my job right before her birthday. As I was deep in thought, Sienna returned and set her handbag down before joining me on the couch. "Honey, you came back? What happened?" "Ha. You look pale." "Oh, nothing. I'm fine." The guessing game had begun. Did she already know about my job loss? "By the way, do you have plans for tomorrow?" "Yes, I'm having a birthday party in the evening. I hope you can come early." "If you want, I can skip work." "No, we can't afford it. Go to work." "She doesn't know yet." "I should tell her, but if I tell her now, her mood will be ruined for tomorrow too." "Honey." "Oh." I smiled, preparing myself for a potential argument. "I need to tell you something." "What?" "Actually, today Her phone rang. Suddenly, it was her friend Jessica. Sienna stepped outside to take the call. "Just a minute." Once she left, Anna gave me a suspicious look. "What? Why do I feel like whatever you have to say is not good?" I was fired today." "Dad. Are you kidding?" "If Mom finds out, you'll be homeless." "Don't worry, sweetheart. I'll find another job." "How?" We looked at each other just as my wife came back. Seeing us exchange glances, she sensed something was up. What are you two planning? Nothing. Nothing. I assumed she hadn't found out yet, so I decided to wait until after her birthday to tell her. Why spoil her mood? In the meantime, I could focus on finding a new job. As the night progressed, the fear of any calls or texts reaching my wife and potentially ruining her birthday loomed over me. I briefly considered turning off my phone to avoid any disruptions, but then the thought of Sienna missing out on midnight birthday wishes struck me as a potential disaster. I decided to let go of that idea and simply go with the flow, hoping for the best. Then suddenly an idea struck me. While I was helping my daughter with her homework and my wife was cooking dinner, I whispered to my daughter, "Anna, don't tell your mom. I'll be right back." Anna asked, a hint of confusion in her voice. "You're not going to tell her?" "Not today. I don't want to spoil her mood. And you keep it a secret too. Promise me." Okay, I promise." I slipped out of the door without making a sound, determined to wish my wife a happy birthday before she noticed. I had brought her favorite flowers and her birthday cake. How could I forget? As my wife drifted off to sleep, I slipped quietly out of my room, intending to surprise her with a midnight celebration. To my delight, Anna was already awake, her excitement evident. "Let me help you, Dad." "Oh, my princess, look at all the blue balloons I brought your mom's favorite color. I hope she'll be thrilled to see them." "I think she'll love it. Where did you put the cake?" "It's right here." 15 minutes later, we had transformed the dining area into a festive birthday space. As the clock struck midnight, I gathered Anna. "Anna, let's go bring your mom." Anna nodded eagerly, her eyes sparkling with excitement. We quietly entered our bedroom, placing our hands over Sienna's eyes. "Lucas, happy birthday." Sienna's eyes widened in surprise as I removed my hands from her eyes to behold the scene before her. "Oh my God. When did you prepare all of this?" "I wanted to make your birthday special, so Anna and I stayed up late to set everything up." I handed Sienna the bouquet of flowers, her favorites that I had carefully selected. "These are for you. I know they're not extravagant gifts, but I wanted to give you something meaningful." "They're perfect." "Thank you, honey." Anna beamed beside me, her excitement palpable. "Mom, we also have your favorite cake. You two are the sweetest. I can't believe you did all of this for me." I felt a wave of gratitude wash over me as I watched Sienna blow out the candles, surrounded by the love of our little family. At that moment, despite the challenges we faced, I knew that we would always find a way to support and uplift each other. The morning after the heartfelt celebration, I woke up with a sense of unease, silently hoping not to ruin my wife's birthday with the news of my job loss. As I roused my daughter from sleep, she seemed to sense my tension. "Dad, if Mom finds out today, what will you do? Shouldn't you just tell her?" "I wish I could, but do you remember what happened last time?" "Not really." "Thank goodness for small mercies. I just don't want her to find out today. I'll tell her eventually." "Aren't you just avoiding the storm?" "Don't worry, I'll handle it." "Did you pack your backpack? Don't forget your homework this time." As we descended the stairs, my wife was already busy in the restaurant, preparing something. "Honey, didn't you have a birthday party?" "I did, but I also booked a reservation for an old customer." Anna and I exchanged a glance. "Oh, bye, Mom. Have a nice day." As I dropped my daughter off at her bus stop, I spotted David and his wife near our restaurant. They were both childhood friends of my wife, and they used to work at the restaurant back when it was always bustling with customers. Nowadays, David works alongside me at the same restaurant, and we happen to live in the same neighborhood. Waiting for his wife to move ahead, I pulled him aside. "David." "Lucas? Have you told your wife?" "About what?" I shot him an annoyed look. "Oh, that. I mean, everybody knows by now." "No, not my wife." "How is that possible?" I gave him a knowing look. It seemed like the incident from yesterday had already made its rounds at the restaurant, with gossip spreading like wildfire in those circles. "Today's her birthday. I just don't want to ruin her day. Tell Reen to keep it to herself." After convincing him, I still doubted whether Raina would keep her mouth shut. I hurried back to our restaurant to ensure Raina wouldn't tell my wife about what happened. "You haven't gone to work yet?" "I have a night shift." "Okay, then clean the windows. We have reservations today." While I was cleaning the windows, my wife prepared the reservation food. Each notification and call on her phone made my heart beat faster. Any subsequent call could shatter the peace of our home today. Suddenly, Ryan arrived at our restaurant and went straight to my wife. I followed closely behind her. "Rain, what brings you here, Sienna?" I wanted to. I thought she was here to tell my wife about yesterday. "Ryan, you're here?" David told me what happened to your son." "What happened to your son?" "Nothing happened to him." "Sienna, I was here." "Oh, I remember. He said you wanted milk." Knowing Sienna didn't like to be disturbed during work, I swiftly guided Reen out of the kitchen, offering to get her the milk myself. "Don't worry, honey, I'll take care of it. You focus on your preparations." I gently ushered Reen towards the dining area. "Lucas? I don't need it." "Really?" "David told me. By the way, why are you here?" "I wanted to tell Sienna about the leaky pipe in your roof. She showed it to me outside. Look." "Oh, that. I hadn't seen it. Thanks for letting me know. I'll fix it soon." As the evening approached, I was mentally prepared for an outburst at any moment. Feeling defeated, I resigned myself to retreat to my room. Even though I stopped Ryan, I couldn't prevent anyone else from telling my wife the news. I hadn't realized until it was past 6 p.m., and I heard my daughter waking me up. "Dad, wake up." I was half asleep, but hearing her made me come to my senses. "What happened?" "I think you're in trouble. Maybe someone in the neighborhood asked her about yesterday's incident, and now Mom is mad her guests are also in a way." I wake up to my worst nightmare. Anna shows sympathy and the support she can't show in front of her mother. "Best of luck, Dad. I'll miss you. I'll be back, so don't worry." With a goodbye wave, she gently pushed me towards downstairs. Each step downstairs increased the sense of tension, but nothing could prepare me for this. As I descended, Sienna came from the stairs, and I retreated to our living room. "Lucas, how could you deceive me? You lost your job. How?" "Honey, Her anger was palpable, and I attempted to calm her down. "I can't tell her the reason right now." "Explain yourself. Why didn't you tell me? Why did I have to find out from other people?" "I was going to tell you yesterday, but you were so excited. I didn't want to ruin your celebration mood." "Really? And what about the reason you got fired?" "No, you were dragged out from the restaurant. I've seen the video." "There's a video? Look." "What?" She showed me the video in her group chat, where someone had made a meme out of me. I tried to calm her down, but it wasn't enough. The damage was done. As she stormed downstairs in anger, Sienna began welcoming her friends. By now, those who didn't already know about my job loss were about to find out. After a while, I mustered the courage to join the gathering, hoping perhaps she wouldn't show her anger in front of the guests. However, I was so wrong. As I descended the stairs, Sienna caught sight of me and couldn't hold back, launching into a tirade of insults in front of everyone. "Lucas, can you at least pretend to be useful for once?" "I'm trying, Sienna. I'll take care of these dishes." "You've already proven you can't handle anything. Just go and do what you're actually good at. Nothing." "Honey, shut up. Go inside and wash the dishes. You're nothing but a jobless loser." I hurried towards the kitchen, the weight of her words echoing in my ears. I wasn't just disappointed or hurt, I felt a deep sadness. Amidst it all, I could hear her friends attempting to escalate the situation, amplifying the tension that everyone was already aware of. As I started cleaning the dishes, someone gently tapped on my shoulder. I turned to see a lovely woman standing there, and without a word, she grabbed my hand and slowly took the sponge from my hand. "Let me help you." For a moment, I was taken aback, trying to place where I might have seen her before. "Do I know you?" The woman smiled at me, and it suddenly dawned on me. "Wait, are you our reservation customer? You don't have to do this. Please let me take care of it." I reached out to take the sponge back from her, feeling a mix of gratitude and embarrassment at her unexpected gesture. I could hear my wife opening her gifts and her friends cheering in the dining area while I started washing the dishes. The woman who offered to help was still there, observing my work like it was something special. Then she said, "Sorry to interrupt you like that." "Oh, no worries at all. You seem like you could use a hand." "Oh, no, not at all. If you say so. It has been a while since I've been to this restaurant." While I was doing the dishes, she chatted with me as if it were the most natural thing in the world. I couldn't bring myself to ask her to leave the kitchen, especially since she was a customer today. Out of politeness, I didn't interrupt her. "So, you've been here before. It's not often we see familiar faces." "Yeah, this place holds a lot of memories for me. My dad and I used to come here for my mom's birthday. It was her favorite spot." "That's really special. Funny enough, my in-laws used to own this joint. The recipes have been in the family for generations. Now, it's my wife who's in charge of keeping the tradition alive. If you don't mind, may I ask you a question?" I knew where this conversation was headed, but I let her continue. Sometimes curiosity leads to unexpected insights, and she had already seen everything. Not to forget that meme part, she might have heard or watched it already. "Sure, go ahead." "Your wife yelled at you, yet you don't seem angry about it." "Honestly, I just feel sorry for her. I know I could have handled things better, but she doesn't deserve to deal with this. She's usually so understanding and patient, but this time, it's a bit rough for both of us." After a few more questions, she made her way to the dining area and struck up a conversation with my wife. The woman seemed particularly interested in our restaurant. All the dishes were done, and the kitchen sparkled with cleanliness. I lingered near the window, inadvertently overhearing snippets of their discussion. "You came back. Did you forget anything?" I couldn't tell if my wife was aware that the woman had been in the kitchen the whole time. It was an awkward situation, especially when the woman glanced at me and said something to my wife. It had been a few days since I had been looking for a job but had no luck. Meanwhile, my wife Sienna was growing more anxious as the number of customers at our restaurant continued to dwindle. The stress mounted as our customer base declined day by day, making it increasingly difficult for both of us. Over the past 5 years, Sienna has tried numerous ways to boost customer numbers, but every attempt has fallen flat. The restaurant is also in need of renovation and repairs. While we have always taken good care of it, maintaining it has become increasingly challenging in recent years. In the middle of the day, as I searched for any job I could find, I suddenly spotted that familiar girl near the same park where I had encountered her before. She approached me out of the blue, waving eagerly. "You helped me last time. Are you here alone? Are you lost again?" "No, I'm with my mom." She pointed toward a nearby shop and then went back, holding her mother's hand as she brought her outside. "What happened, sweetheart?" "Mom, do you remember the guy I told you about? He's here." I glanced at the mother-daughter pair. "Who?" "Mom, the guy who helped me in the park." I looked at her mother, holding stuff in one hand and holding the other hand with her daughter. She was the same woman who had come to my wife's restaurant last time. I was surprised by the coincidence. "You." "Oh, you're the one who helped my daughter. I never got the chance to properly thank you last time." "Oh, don't mention it. I'm just glad she found her way back to you." "You're too modest. Please, let me buy you a coffee as a token of gratitude." "Well, if you insist, I wouldn't say no to a cup of coffee." We head to a nearby cafe, and she insists on ordering me a cold brew. As we sit down, she shares with me the dishes she enjoys from my wife's restaurant. After a pleasant chat, we parted ways, each of us feeling grateful for the unexpected encounter and the newfound connection it brought us. After a few days, I managed to secure a part-time job near the previous restaurant. Meanwhile, my wife Sienna was heartbroken over the decline in her business's customer base. While returning home, I found Sienna sitting in the dining area with Reen and David. Seeing the distress on her tear-streaked face tore at my heart. "What's going on?" David and Reen exchanged sympathetic glances before I took a seat opposite Sienna. "I think we need to shut down the restaurant. We haven't had any customers for the past 2 weeks, and I can't keep going like this. We've exhausted our funds and savings, and I don't see any other option but to close it down." It pained me to see Sienna admit defeat like this. The restaurant wasn't just a business, it was her passion, her life's work. But with dwindling customers and no financial support, we were left with no choice but to consider shutting its doors for good. As we were discussing it, I heard a car pulling up in front of our restaurant. A beautiful woman stepped out of it and entered through our door. Seeing a customer arriving at this time was surprising, but we stood up to welcome her. My wife wiped her tears and retreated into the kitchen. I was even more surprised to see the woman whom I had encountered 3 times within the past 2 weeks. She took a seat and I approached her cautiously. "What would you like to have?" "I am here to meet the owner." Ryan, David, and I exchanged glances, unsure of what to make of the situation. Ryan promptly returned to Sienna's side. A moment later, Sienna emerged from the kitchen and took a seat directly in front of the new customer. "You came last time. What can I serve you?" "Today, I'm not here to eat, but I want to offer something." Sienna and I exchanged glances, puzzled by Grace's unexpected visit. "What kind of offer?" "I'm Grace Martin." Raina glanced at Grace, recognition flickering in her eyes. "I've heard that name somewhere. I used to come to this restaurant as a child. Your parents' dishes still evoke fond memories for me. My mom loved this place, and my dad and I would often come here to celebrate her anniversary. The last time I had a taste of those dishes, it transported me back to those cherished moments. When I heard that your restaurant is about to close." "Damn. We don't have any other choice. It's true. That's why I want to invest in your restaurant, Sienna. The talent you have and the unique taste you offer, I've searched far and wide for something similar, but nothing compares. I don't want this legacy to disappear. Consider this offer. You can repay me once you start making a profit. I simply want to preserve my mom's memory, and you can restore this restaurant to its former glory." As Grace spoke to Sienna, Raina leaned in and whispered to me. "I remember her now. She's Grace Martin. Her father is a big businessman, and she's quite renowned for investing in small businesses. Anyone she invests in tends to see significant profits." It felt like a miracle. We had struggled to secure a loan from the bank, and now an investor had come to rescue our business. "It's a tempting offer, but how can you be so sure? I've tried numerous strategies to boost our popularity, but nothing seems to work. I've analyzed your restaurant's performance over the past years. You simply need some renovation and rebranding. Your menu doesn't need a drastic overhaul, just a little marketing push. If you can attract food bloggers, your food will shine as the star of this restaurant." Sienna looked at me, then asked Grace if she could have some time to think. Grace nodded, giving Sienna her card before leaving. Later, Reen told Sienna more about Grace. After some thought, Sienna decided to accept Grace's offer. It felt like karma had come back around, just like the day I helped the little girl.